because we're actually in the studio, which all of a sudden sounds like we're in a tunnel.
Oh.
It's a little bit
eerie and echoey.
Yeah, it's only because we were in the studio, in the office, and it sounded like we were in a wind chamber because our server has collapsed.
God, yeah.
So,
big robot box that's always whirring away. Sounding like
so
we're taking
at the
off.
moment, 8 days of transferring stuff. So that's why we're here. Anyway, we're here. I'm Paula.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Caiti.
And you need to know that if you are a broadcast journalist, a graduate of TV, film production or journalism, then you need to get onto media.com and have a look. Because we're advertising for a role. Woohoo! So, Hannah is the keeper of the list.
I am the keeper of the list. The first thing on our list is quite a topical thing. Last week and last night there was a public meeting on the second flight.
So another public meeting on the second flight, and I didn't go because I wasn't feeling very well, as you can see I'm a bit nasally. So you went, Caiti. Well, you both went, didn't you? Yeah. So Caiti, tell us a bit about it. Was it people moaning?
It was a little bit of the aforementioned Old Men Moaning Club, but I will rein my neck in and say that I think the whole idea surrounding holding the meeting was a very good one, in that they'd prepared a presentation which was quite easy to digest and sort of answered a lot of questions before the questions came up. So I think they're doing a really good job of keeping the public informed, in my own opinion. Quite a good idea to have that there. And there was quite a lot of people there and quite a lot of chat going on after the presentation. There was a couple of things about it I felt quite uncomfortable with. With my sort of job role and more as a person felt quite uncomfortable with.
Okay, in what way?
I think in both the panel and the audience this was reflected, but by the panel I mean the people who were there was 4 on either side, the people who were sort of leading the discussion, in that they were all white men, which I think doesn't really represent the Falkland Islands, and quite disappointed that there not in general is a higher representation. And it was the same in the audience, not all the time I have to say, but a lot of the time the people talking were the same. And I think that's a much wider issue. And the fact is that we do have 2 female MLAs, and one's on holiday with her family and one is away working.
One's at the JMC, Joint Ministerial Council.
But I think it's a much wider topic that the world in general needs to consider, but down here I think it is something that's slightly behind.
So before we unleash the beast of feminism in you, let's just hold you back a little sec. Second flight now.
Yeah, context-wise is just in case the listeners don't know what the second flight is. There's one commercial flight already that goes through Chile, to take Falkland Islanders back to the UK, and this second flight is hoping to stop in Argentina in Cordova.
Well, hang on a minute. So it's
Sao
not.
Paulo.
It goes to Sao Paulo.
But it needs
so
a stopover.
it's a flight to Sao Paulo, and 3. So you've got 3 flights to Sao Paulo straight from here, and 3 flights back from Sao Paulo to here.
A month.
And once a month, it's got to go via Cordoba.
Yeah.
Now, as somebody said to me yesterday, if you don't want to fly via Argentina, then just don't get on that flight.
That once a month flight.
That once a month flight.
And the reason why that they have to do that isn't by choice. This isn't the UK government or the Falkland Islands government doing that because they are understanding and listening to their people. The reason that they need to do that is because of the 1999 legislation that says that
the agreement,
wasn't it? Yeah.
That there needs to be, if more flights come in, they need to go through Argentina once.
Yeah.
And the thing is that in that stopover, unless you're getting off in Argentina, you stay on the plane.
Yeah, you don't
actually
But I think
get
that
off.
from last night, what a lot of the members of the public were querying is hypothetical scenarios. What happens if I get sick and I have to go to a hospital in Argentina and they treat us like second-class citizens and this and that? And I think obviously it goes back to the feelings from the war, Falkland Islands War. People are still very against Argentines. And even, I don't know whether you noticed this, Caiti, but the audience I found, if you took a sample of the audience, the majority of them were of an older generation.
Yes.
And an older mindset. So that and the opinions that were coming forward and the people who had the big voices were of that older generation with that older mindset, and it wasn't very reflective of...
No, it wasn't. And something that I would like to add is that I fully, and I'm sure we all do, fully appreciate how difficult and how hard it must be to have been here during that time and then to come onto different things. I'm not saying that wasn't a difficult time and that would be something hard to get over. I've never been through anything like that, so absolutely I think it's amazing that these people are still here and doing that. I just think that it's not time to move on, but it's time to start thinking about opening up the Falkland Islands to show all the beauty and amazing things that are here and sharing it with the rest of the world.
This is the issue, isn't it? That there's not enough, like you've just said, the flights, all the flights are booked. The air bridge to the goes straight to the UK is all waitlisted until something like the 14th of January. LAN, you can't get a flight to Chile until I think it's like March or something like that. So we do need another flight, don't we?
Yeah, and I think also it's about kind of developing the economy of the Falkland Islands. And I think someone mentioned it last night, made a very good point, that by developing the economy, it gives the Falkland Islands a louder voice that is more likely to get heard.
Yes.
Which I think is very true. And I thought that was actually quite fair play. And someone else made a very good point of saying, well, actually, think about the young families here. Young families, people with kids, the younger generation who want to develop the economy. I know maybe the older generation might think, oh, everything's fine, and we used to shear sheep, and that was absolutely fine. But the more money that's in the Falkland Islands, the more jobs, the more opportunities there are, and the louder voice they'll have when it comes to talking to UK government and things like that, I think.
And on your list, of course, you've got that coupled with flights is homesickness.
Exactly, because also some people don't that there aren't enough flights to get everyone home to the UK if people want to go to the UK.
Those people whose home is in the UK. Those of us whose home is here.
Yeah, or vice versa. Do you know, and even like freight and stuff like that, and sending parcels, and you know, like today, for example, is the last day that you can send your cards home, airmail to the UK, 7th of December. Do you think, what? But you've got to be prepared.
And I've got daughters who's one's not a student anymore, but one's a student, and to try and get her northbound after New Year, and we were booking that flight back in July, August, and they were already fully booked. So listeners, if you are listening to this and you think, oh, I fancy going down to the Falkland Islands, top tip: make sure you book as soon as you can. That's
the thing. If you don't know something like that, and you don't book in advance, and you think, oh, I want to go home and see my family. If you do have family in the UK, you can't book.
Yeah.
So what are they supposed to do? Whereas the second flight, it might open up more opportunity for people. What they were saying, about 200 seats on the plane. Do you know, 3 times a month? More opportunity for people to actually come and go as they please.
And they've timed it. I mean, although nothing is set in stone now and they're still negotiating on it, they're looking at flying from here, effectively flying straight into Sao Paulo in the evening. And we know that, I think it's generally accepted, isn't it, that flights that are going east-wise tend to leave in the evening. So you should be able to get a flight within a few hours to Heathrow. And bang, there you are.
But also, if you want to go on holiday elsewhere, Sao Paulo, by the sounds of it, is quite well connected. You can zip on to wherever you want to in the world, which isn't a bad thing.
I think there's a lot. Personally, I think there's a lot more positives than there are negatives on this. Anyway, what's on your next list?
Next on my list is we've got a very special, keeping it Christmassy and going home for Christmas and Christmas. We're doing something very special this afternoon, aren't we?
We are, and it has to be done. So, next week, listeners. On Friday is the Christmas Challenge concert organised by Morris and Debbie Lake. Sorry, that's my phone. That's somebody sending me an email.
Well, we've actually recorded. We've laid down a track, haven't we? We've got a Christmas single coming out. FITV Christmas single.
We had to because we're going to be doing it with puppets. Spoiler alert. We've got puppets that are penguins. We found Santa. And we've got an elf.
Well, you've been slaving away, haven't you, making your puppets?
Yeah, as long as the flight comes in, we've got an elf.
Oh yeah, because we do the costumes.
Otherwise, it's straight from MPC straight into town. Poor girl. Shove the costume on her and on stage she goes. So yes, we had to record it because obviously you can't. Well, I didn't think we could cope with singing and doing the puppets at the same time. So. We've laid down the track, which was jolly good fun. I think we amused
I think
Certainly our end of the Stanley
I
Services
think
building.
that's actually the first Christmas single I've ever recorded.
Is
There we
it?
go,
It could be number one in
yeah.
the
Yeah, it could
Falkland
go
Islands.
viral, you never know.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
But also we had special guests ending the show, didn't we? Christmassy guests. Caiti?
Yes.
That was your doing, wasn't it?
It was. Take full responsibility for that. That was Morris from the Seafarers Mission. He puts on the Christmas Tree Festival, and we wanted to do a bit of an inventive plug for him to put that out there. So him and his lovely, sweet little dog Marlon, who is
Schnauzer.
the
Schnauzer.
best behaved, most lovely.
And top
little
tip,
dog.
oh look at this, what you're getting here listeners, top tip, Schnauzer is the only dog you can accurately represent in Lego.
Ooh,
Wow.
because it's
Very
all very
boxy.
square. I love
Yeah.
schnauzers. Yeah.
And he's very well behaved, isn't he?
Great top tip. So he came in, and at the end of our show, we always do the same sort of thing, letting people know that they can listen to our podcast, that they can go on and watch future episodes online, that sort of thing. So we got Morris and Marlon to come and sit on the sofa and be the TV presenters for the last little bit.
And he just sits there with his head thing on.
Yeah, with his antlers on.
Looking quite, this is Marlon, not Morris.
Well, him too.
Looking a little bit fed up. I have to
Yeah,
say.
but it adds to it. It
Yeah.
totally adds to it.
But I think you should say schnauzer again, because I don't know if the listeners have heard him.
Schnauzer. Why
Yeah,
did I
but
say
I've
it
heard that Paula's got Christmas flu.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, Christmassy flu, which is
It
something
was
that
horrible.
seems to be going
I have
around.
no idea where I got it from. I have a suspicion it was from Government House because we went for lunch, didn't we,
Yes.
last week? And I suspect it was somebody around that table who gave me.
She was sitting next to the governor, so
Yeah,
you never
it could have been
know.
her,
Well, you're
yeah,
not
who
pointing
knows?
fingers.
Who knows? No, the media. That was nice. Lovely dinner.
Yeah, it
Lovely
wasn't
lunch,
really.
rather.
And I really liked how they'd spread, because it was the Penguin News, the radio, well, all media outlets in the
Yeah.
Falkland Islands.
Juanita was there as well. Yeah.
Yep, we're all invited in, and we all sat around the table, all spread out as well, so it was really nice to chat to different people. And it was a little bit of work chat. I don't know what your end of the table was doing. We had a
Yeah.
little bit of work chat, and then we had some sort of fun, quite light chat, and it was just quite nice to get to know people.
Yeah, because Liz Roberts said to me, she said, we don't. Liz Roberts used to work at FITV. She said, we don't get a chance to speak to each other.
No.
You know, or you
I
know,
think
Lisa
we should have like
or
a
anything.
monthly meeting or something between all of us. I think
yeah.
that'd be
'Cause
quite
if we're
good
at-
to
we're for-
just have a
Yeah, 'cause
brainstorm.
We're
And
for an event or anything like that. We don't get a chance
working.
to, we
Well,
don't
yeah.
get a chance to chat. So it
Yeah.
was nice to go. I think I said something to Lisa about something, and she said, "Oh, you get that too." So it's nice to know that you're not the only
therapeutic.
I
Yeah.
befriended a very nice Canadian chap, which was
at the dinner.
yeah, at the dinner.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I made a nice friend. I thought, right, I'm staying out the media side of things. I'm going to chat to this lovely guy who is one of Nigel Phillips, well, the governor's very old friends, which was good.
I'm gonna cough again.
Oh, the lurgy. But yeah, no, it was nice to be appreciated. I felt like it was quite nice.
It was
for-
lovely. It was very
them
nice.
to-
Thank you,
Really
thank you
nice
very much,
gesture.
Government
Thank
House,
you. Yeah.
for that. Very nice.
Also, very exciting news. Very, very exciting news. Your lovely husband brought you something very special today.
He brought me a jacket.
Paula's been wearing a old black. I don't know. Well, if you live in the Falkland Islands
It's a
and see
Barber,
Paula
for
walking
goodness
around, she's got the bag lady jacket that she wears
Do you know
day in
what?
day out. The
It
black Barber
has.
jacket.
It has. It has
Been
gone
through the
from
wars.
being. It's gone from being a really nice, smart-looking thing to being looking a bit shabby. So yeah, Steve
So if
said,
you're
"That's
interested
it."
in seeing what Paula's new jacket looks like, we'll get a photo of her up with
Tune
the
in.
podcast. Tune in.
No, I haven't got any makeup on. You can't do
No,
that.
but we'll just do that. We'll just cut your head
Okay.
off. There we go. And then we can have your opinions on
Yeah.
whether you like the colour. I think the colour's rather nice.
My mum did always say that you can get the rest of your clothes out of Primark if you want to, but the things to spend your money on is your shoes and your coats.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I've heard a similar one that says, always buy the best mattress you can afford or the best shoes you can afford, because if you're not in one, you're in the other.
That's very true.
That's such a good. Yeah, I like that saying.
Yeah.
Very
Top
good saying.
tips. Oh my goodness, listen to this, listener. On your
Top tip.
commute, wherever you are in the world.
We're practically lifestyle vloggers now.
Have we still got our American, Californian viewers, listeners?
Yeah, I would think so. I think they'll still be out there.
We need to have a look. I think we'll have next week. We'll have a.
I'll do some investigation
Do
into
some
who's
investigation,
listening, and we
yes,
can give some
yeah.
shout outs.
Caiti, you had quite an interesting week with the Scouts, didn't you?
Yeah, I had good fun. It was I went along to my first ever coffee evening rather than a coffee morning.
Yeah, weird. Because when we were reading the cue from the studio, Tom and I, I was like, coffee morning, coffee morning. I was like, no, it's a coffee evening.
Yeah. So I went along, and I have to say, something that is literally stuck with me since Tuesday evening is the smell of bonfire smoke on the jeans that I'm currently wearing.
I thought I could smell smoke.
If you can smell it, that's what it is, unfortunately. So I went in, and I don't know what I expected, but it was bonkers. There was children of all ages running around with 20p's, buying and spending an absolute tat, but
I know,
the best kind, and they were all so happy, and it was just lovely.
They raised a lot of money, didn't they? From 20p, Jesus.
£1,478.
Yeah.
And it was on for 2 hours, just an amazing fundraiser.
I spoke to a mother who said she'd come back with 2 bags of absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
That her children were just constantly buying stuff.
But you do when you're young. I still find I do it now though. At car boot sales and stuff, you're like, oh, I could
need
find a
that.
use for this, blah blah blah, and then it just goes in the cupboard,
But the
never
one
to be touched.
when they had an outside section as well, and out there they were shooting Nerf guns to try and hit targets. They had a bonfire with marshmallows, but I think the main attraction was that the scouts, who are the oldest section, were sitting in their shorts and t-shirts, and everybody else could spend 50p and throw 3 wet sponges at them and try and
Love
hit
those.
them, which sounds like really great fun. But it wasn't a very summery day. It was freezing.
It was quite windy, wasn't it?
So the other kids were having a great time throwing them, but these 3 scouts were standing there, who aren't very big. They're only about 9 or 10, I would say. Absolutely chittering. They were so cold. But it was very cute, and well done to them. Just shows the generosity of this place. Everybody donating money.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
I've also on my list. This is quite an unusual one. Sexy books.
Ooh.
Sexy
What's that all
books.
about?
Story arc on
Oh,
writing.
yes. Yeah, no, because obviously from the back of having this playwright here, hello Brad, I know you're listening. I asked him about reading books about writing, and he suggested a Stephen King book called On Writing, which I highly recommend. I did read it a long time ago, but hadn't really appreciated it. So I'm reading it again and really feeling re-energized to write again.
That's
and
amazing.
he in it, one of the big things he says is time is short, so you need to just limit yourself to books on how to write, because the more time you're reading the books on how to write is less time you're actually
But it's true. It's like
writing.
research. I don't know whether you found this with your degrees and stuff like that. When you do dissertations, you can spend so much time research. Like you put off the writing and the actual nitty gritty of, you know what, write it. Obviously, you need the happy medium of both, but sometimes you can use that looking into researching and stuff like that as an obstacle for actually getting on with it.
Because there are like hundreds, if not thousands, of books out there on how to write a novel, how to get published, how to do this. And I bought one while I was on holiday called Writing the Bones, which I believe is quite a revered book on writing. And the first chapter is all about buying the right pen, which is great because I'm a real stationery nerd. So I'm really on board with that. But actually, it's wasting time that you could actually be sitting down, putting pen to paper.
I think, I see what you mean, and I think Hannah's right, it is about a happy medium, but I'm the type of person where, because I'm not a writer in the sense that you are, but I do blog and have a YouTube channel and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind, but it's the same creativity, and you have to be inspired to be able to do it, or you just hit a block and you don't. But I really believe that when I write or record my best stuff is when I'm feeling really, I sort of feel like it's creative fireworks going off inside me. But the way that I get that is sometimes by getting a new notebook, because I go, ooh, and then I start. And
So you a stationery nerd?
A little bit, yeah. I'm more notepads than pens, though.
Okay, well you can join the periphery
I can appreciate
of
it.
our Falklands stationery nerd group.
Thank you.
Which is basically me, one of the old media ops ladies who's just got a promotion apparently,
Ooh.
and the old Chief Justice. He was also a stationery
I
nerd.
enjoy that.
So you can join us.
I think one last thing on this that I just want to add in is talking about books about writing. This is a book about creativity in general. Was a book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, who's actually the author of Eat, Pray, Love.
Okay.
Which I didn't actually get too into the whole Eat, Pray, Love thing. I know it's very popular, but Big Magic, if you are in a rut with creativity and you just feel like you are being sunk by all these ideas that you can't get out of you, read or listen to this book. It's on Audible as well, or all other platforms too that you can listen to books on.
Yeah, other books are available.
And other books are available. And it really sort of changed my life listening to that book and set off sparks, and just sort of really made me realise that creativity is a blessing, and that we all have it within us and are able to get it out there.
This was something I was going to say. Do you think creativity is something that you've either got or you don't, or is it something that you can teach yourself? Because I think you have to have that basic creativity in order to improve. I don't think, say, you've got someone who's just not creative at all in terms of writing skills. So say we're talking about writing novels, and it goes back to your point of buying books that teach you how to write, this and that. You can spend so much time doing that, when actually, if you just sit and let it flow,
yeah.
And then maybe tweak it afterwards, like edit it, then I don't know. For me, I believe you're either creative or you're not.
Well, I think
you can teach it, but I don't think you'll ever be as good as someone who's naturally got that flair.
I think that's a point, but I
what
mean,
do you think?
if you looked at me on paper, you would think that I was the least creative person ever, because I'm dyslexic, I'm dyspraxic, and a complete self-confessed perfectionist, which all goes opposite writing and creativity and things like that, because they're all blockages that make it harder. But I really think that it's about, I think you do have it within you, and you're a creative person, you can describe yourself as that, but I think everybody can find it within them, and it takes time for people to find that spark to set them off.
But do you think it's like tuning into it, whether you tap into your creativity or not? Because sometimes I think, like, I've got friends, for example, who are very, very arty, like really good, and it's a natural talent, and I'm like, wow, I could never do anything like that. Yes, I could try, but it would never be as flowy as them. And I think if you've got that creative, that basic level of creativity, you can improve on it.
I don't think.
But some people do have that natural mindset.
But I think that's the point. I don't think creativity is about success.
No, I agree. It depends on the definition of success. So now we're going to end up.
So
it's quite interesting.
Let's look at this, because the Bad Sex Awards came out this week, or the nominations for the Bad Sex.
What's a Bad Sex Award?
Sorry, so it's in novels. It's badly written sex in novels, basically. I think you might have to put a disclaimer on this.
I was going to say, we talk scout sex and whatever. No, we
can't. But anyway, they came out, and they were just appalling. They're seriously appalling. And I was talking to you earlier, because that's where you've got sexy books from, is because I was saying to you that years and years secretly, and listeners, you don't
this
tell top secret, don't tell anyone else this, I actually collect hardback Mills and Boon. And the hardback ones came out sort of in the 80s and early 90s, which were put in libraries. And if you read them, they're nicely, because we were talking about story arc, weren't we?
Structures and
stuff like that. And they're very structured, but they sell. I mean, for goodness sake, they sell. And they're very gentle, and the fruitiness in it is quite gentle, and it only lasts like 2 pages. But then about sort of 12 years ago, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to see what they're writing like now, and what they're looking at for writers. Maybe I could do that. And I went to the shop, and they've got spawned like subgenres of this stuff. There's historical, and there's hospital, and there's tender, which doesn't have a lot of fruitiness in, and then there's like really raunchy stuff that it goes on for like 20, 30 pages. But nobody's got time for that.
Don't you think that's like a reflection though on how society has changed? Back probably in the 80s when you bought those books, sex. Okay, maybe not 8. Actually, no. That's no.
Hello,
was
lace.
A little bit,
let me just say,
no,
and people will be nodding at home. Lace.
But now sex is a lot more open. I find it's a lot more in your face. It sells well.
In 50 Shades.
A couple of years, but 30 years back, it probably was a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, we're not you and I are not fans of 50 Shades, are you? Have you read it?
I read it. I read all of them and watched them, but I actually think, and I read it because I'm 23, and they came out when I was quite young. And
so you read it as a forbidden thing.
And I read them quite young on holiday.
For Ginny Cooper when I was a teenager.
I think when I read them then, I was probably about 13 or 14, and it was a bit of an interesting experience. It was like something that I wasn't meant to be doing.
Well done for getting through 3 books.
Yeah.
Did you manage a whole book?
I read one book. Yeah,
you read the whole
book. I didn't like it.
I managed 4 chapters. 4 chapters, and I went, I've had enough of this. I want to slap her.
Yeah.
I seriously want to slap her, inner goddess who kept doing cartwheels for some
But it
reason.
also makes me think, and I know this sounds awful, and I know it's a very popular book, but you must be slightly dissatisfied with your life to read a book like that and enjoy it. I don't know, that makes me sound really awful.
know what?
I know that's quite an awful statement, but...
We watched a film last night called Book Club, and other films are available. And there was these 4 women who had that book as their choice in the book club, and they were raving about it. But I thought it was badly written. I thought the sex scenes were badly written. I didn't like him as a character. I hated her as a character. As I say, I wanted to physically be violent to her, and her D&D, mustard word, and her inner goddess. And every page, he's so powerful, he's so handsome, he's so, and we were talking about this earlier because it sort of goes full circle with the whole feminist issue.
Yeah.
That she is, for me, I'm sorry, please write in and tell me if you think I'm wrong. I found her a very weak woman. You will do this, you will eat when I say, sorry, if I don't want to eat, I'm not going to eat, thank you very much. You will eat
You
this.
should write one that's opposite, where the woman's Mrs. Grey.
Oh, God.
Go on, Paula, there we go, on to a
We
winner.
said this, didn't we? Because I said in my book, I was just finishing off my book when it came out, and I thought, I'll have a look and see what all the fuss is about. I got as far as chapter 4 and went, this is ridiculous. But, in my book that I've written, you can buy, other books are available on Kindle. I get 28p every time you buy one. She's an accountant, he's a pianist. Get him to have sex on the piano and she can whack him on the bottom with a calculator. Maybe that will make it sell. Who knows? But that doesn't happen.
Quite feminist as well, actually.
I really hope I'm not the person who has to edit this podcast.
No, I'll edit. It's all staying in, but you're putting an explicit
Explicit
No, we can
content
do that.
will be used.
And as we say, that probably means that more people will listen to it.
Hello.
People get excited about
Because
explicit
sex
content.
sells. There we go.
Unfortunately, it does, doesn't it? But and both ways though. Hello, but both ways.
Hot dudes reading.
Hot dudes reading.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So let's just.
That's what we need for the
Yeah.
FITV office, actually. New Year, sexy men calendar.
Well, we would have to balance it out and have
Sexy women
have a sexy
calendar.
women calendar. I've long thought we ought to do an FITV calendar.
Oh, why don't we? That would be
you know,
awesome.
Because not necessarily nudie,
No,
'cause
obviously,
that's not
obviously
gonna
not.
happen. That is not going to happen.
No, but we could do a media one
But,
with all the media.
Yeah,
That'd be quite fun.
yeah. I think because we do enough stories that are just like unusual to take some stills from there.
How have we gone from sexy books to FITV calendar?
There we go. That's the magic of the podcast. So before we move on to the next topic, please plug your blog because I want to plug mine too.
So my blog is called The Scot in the Falklands. It was
The Scot.
The Scot in the Falklands. Originally, The Scot in Paris, then went to The Scot in the Falklands, and wherever life takes me next, I'm sure it'll have a name change again.
Oh, excellent. Okay, mine's being ritaseagull.wordpress.com, and also I can't remember what my a few pews. No, last pew. I can't even remember the name of my. Oh, just go on Twitter.
long since you looked.
Yeah, go on Twitter, Rita _Seagull, and have a look.
Now I've got a question on my list that
Tell me.
I'm querying. Apple giving up Apple.
Oh,
Katie,
yeah,
tell us about that. What is this
have
about?
you done?
Oh.
What have you done, Katie?
Are you giving up eating apples or Apple tech? That's
Well, so I have decided that I'm going to not get an iPhone.
Oh.
Yep, I'm giving up my iPhone.
Are you listening to this, Apple?
I know.
If
Well,
you want to
reason
buy
you
an
need to send
iPhone,
us
Katie's
some
selling an
pens.
iPhone. No.
I'm thoroughly disappointed. It's partly, to be fair, it's partly to do with my contract, which obviously isn't Apple, is a service provider. It's partly to do with that. But I've just decided that my contract ends in April and I'm going to move on to a different phone, which the reason that I've picked this one is because my sister has it and she says it does all the bits that she needs and nothing more, which is what I want.
Well,
and
if we
it's cheaper.
plugged Apple, you might as well plug the new phone you're buying.
It's called a Hawaii phone. I think it's Google, but it might be Android. I've not actually checked.
Lots of other phones are available,
Yeah.
listeners.
And
But
also Apple, if you are listening and you do want to give us free phones, we film everything on your iPhone.
Yeah,
too.
we film. Actually, no, sorry, just as a side note, if you watch along this week, it's week 406, There are lots of things on there that are filmed on the iPhone 7. There's some bits from the CBF leaving and things like that. But also there is a bit that you filmed for the new ship, the Argos ship coming out.
That's iPhone 10, and also the government house reception and things like that.
And you can see the difference. You can see the difference. When I edited it, and this is all honesty, this is not because I want Apple to send us some free phones. If you look at us as editing it, and I was putting the oeuvre of the ship on board, and I turned to you and I said, did you film this on your DSLR? Because it looked beautiful. And you went, no, it's from my phone.
Yeah.
And that's with no post tinkering around in post-production or anything like that.
No,
so
it's really, really good.
It's the colours though. I find the colours are so vivid and things like that with the iPhone.
The quality, the lens, the depth of field, everything. It's just, it looks beautiful. Anyway, so you're leaving all of that.
I am.
To go to some.
I just want
Android.
I just want something less that does less.
That's good though, I think, because Apple's naughty, but in a way, because they make you buy into them, and it's very difficult. Once you're very deep into Apple and very into it, it's very difficult to leave them.
And I'm making a stand. I'm cutting off the dependency, the codependency that Apple
has drawn me. Well, I still love you, Apple.
But it's also the fact that everything talks to each other. It's like all your devices are very easy to sync and AirDrop and this and that, and you think, oh, like I'm very in Apple, and I can't leave.
I had an Android. Because I moved away from Apple, so I bought a PC, a laptop, and I bought, over a course of years, and I bought an Android tablet because it was dirt cheap, and I bought an Android phone, and as soon as you log onto your account, everything, it all synced across the board, so it does do that as well.
Yeah, it's not just
But
Apple.
I love the Apple platform. For an iPhone, I love the Apple platform.
But I also quite like the ease of use and the the way it looks. I don't know. And also you get so into it, like with iTunes, things like this, and you can sync everything up.
Yeah.
You've got the iCloud,
and you
which
take
is
a
easy
photo
to use.
and you want to give it to me, just
AirDrop it across. 9 times out of 10, Apple's good, but I think you need, in order to get the best maximum kind of efficiency out of it, you need the Apple computers. It syncs up quicker than using Apple to
So who knows? So if you are a manufacturer of any kind of equipment and you think, do you know what, FITV needs to be educated that our stuff is fantastic, send it to us.
Woohoo!
And, and we'll try it out, and we will.
We can put reviews on.
We can put a review on.
Yeah, because we're out filming every day, aren't we? So
all those products above.
Speaking of reviews, just lastly, I heard on the radio the other day that a little boy who's 7 years old, I can be corrected if I'm wrong, is reviewing toys on YouTube and is earning a huge amount of money each year because he's reviewing his toys.
That is
fantastic. Isn't that amazing?
I hope he's putting it all towards his university fund.
I'm sure. Market research though. You remember how they used to do market research groups? Where you'd go and meet as a group. My mum used to do it, and then when I was a kid, you'd go and you'd try, I don't know, the new lunchbox snacks or whatever, or play with toys, and then you do a review and they give you the free toy. But it's a modern version. I think that's a great idea for him to be earning money at that age and understand.
Fantastic.
That is great.
Very cute too.
Yeah. Right, where are we on our list?
On our list, the last thing. Well, I don't really know how well this is going to link, but CBF. New CBF coming, old CBF leaving.
No, because he had there was a little, not reception, a little buffet kind of thing on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I couldn't go because I was feeling so pants. So I apologise if anyone's listening. But the new guy's coming, the old guy's got. Who knew that he was actually a bit of a whiz on the old 10-pin bowling?
I know. Crazy. I'm rubbish.
Apparently, he scored like 6 or 7 strikes
in
that first game that they played because they revamped the bowling alley at MPC. And he's a bit of a whiz on the old bowling.
What's that film? I'm imagining that film. What's the film about the bowling with Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller or something like that? Not Kingpin.
I don't know.
The one where they're bowling, where they do the bowling, and they've got all like the jackets and things and the gloves, and like the Simpsons, where the Simpsons have the bowling.
I don't know. But you ever seen Grease 2? There's
a
brilliant song in there, which we're not going to sing, obviously copyright. But Grease 2's got a very good bowling scene, and you'll be humming that song along.
It is a very good new bowling alley. I actually went on Saturday.
Oh, excellent.
They were doing free bowling between 10 and 10, and it's really cool.
Oh, good stuff. So we are getting obviously close, like centimetres towards Christmas now. Next week, I just looked at our book. It is full on Christmas.
Yes.
absolutely full on
Love
Christmas.
it.
So we've got the
Christmas Tree Festival,
Festival.
Christmas Challenge concert. We've got the kids doing their Christmas concert.
We've got the Drag Fabulous Christmas quiz.
Oh,
Museum, Christmas
We've got the
lights.
museum lights on at the museum.
it's just going to be amazing.
It's going to be full on Christmas.
I think
isn't
it's good because I don't know about you, but it's the first time that I've been away for Christmas
Yeah.
from home. So for me, it's quite nice that it's busy doing stuff because it takes your mind off of being like, oh, my family.
The speed cheer. I found out they are doing a speed cheer, and I did write it on the board.
Oh, awesome.
That's at the Rose. They just take.
I want to have a go at shearing. That's going to be my Christmas.
I'm not sure they'll do it then, but yeah. So they've got that, and also the shear, Falkland shears.
Another mum.
There was another mustard word there. We've had to.
But they're really quick. I was watching the shearing competition from last year, and they're super duper quick. And I don't know how they managed to do it without cutting the sheep, because the sheep are wriggling around like this like tomorrow.
They're all just experts. There is a young lady actually, Rhiannon, who's on the West, and she's a shearer. And she's shearing something like 238 sheep. Wethers or whatever it was. I don't know what they call them.
Good
but anyway.
stuff.
But the Falkland Shears, which is on the 29th of December at the FIDF Hall, if you're sitting there at home and you're thinking, oh, that's the last thing, it's really good. We went to film it one of the first years they brought it into town, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be awful. It is brilliant. It is absolutely fantastic. And it's interesting, and if it's the same people doing the commentary, they're just hilarious. They're absolutely hilarious. And there's lots of different sections. So there's like veterans and novices and team, and then the winners are then the ones that will be
Golden
go off to the Golden Shears, which is
Amazing.
in France this next year.
So is that people from all over the world, shearers from all over the world?
For Golden Shears, yeah.
Where did we come last year?
Quite high up actually, considering we're just like the little old Falklands.
Oh, that's good.
I think I can't remember how many we sent, whether it was 2 or 3 people went shearers, and also the and I've forgotten the word already.
Rouseys.
The Rouseys, the ones that
take the girls that usually.
It's usually females who flip the.
They were shooting at Weddell when I was there filming, so I was in the shed and was watching them, and it was really, really interesting.
Yeah,
it's a complete way of life when they go away to shear.
It's brilliant. And did they tell you they have to like put cling film around their body?
Yeah.
Or something, because some of the fibres from the fleece can get trapped and start growing.
What, on them?
Yeah.
No.
Seriously.
They can grow their own
Seriously.
I don't believe that. They can't.
Seriously,
the fibres get trapped and they start growing like.
That's what they told me, but they might have been having me on. Who knows? Anyway, we're coming to the end of our podcast. We've rattled on now for 38 minutes.
I was going to say this is. I did think we've been talking for an awfully long time.
We have, but it was very interesting. I think
definitely.
Really, I think we ought to do it again. Maybe
extended version.
We ought to send Thomas down to the post office more often to go and do stuff. Anyway, if you want to listen along or watch along to, you need to look at fitv.co.fk and subscribe to our programme. You're looking at week 406 for this podcast.
Which is podcast number 30.
Do you do a blog?
Nice round number.
Do you do a blog?
I don't. I used to, but I neglect it. I'm terrible. I'm very bad with my.
Don't forget to have a look at Caiti's blog, and her Paris stuff is very interesting as well.
Yeah.
Have a look at mine, because I want a book deal. So just
and then the Roller Station Manager will be up on Media.
Check out Media if you want to. If you're a broadcast journalist or a TV and film production person out there,
you could
check
be
out
sitting
Media.
right here doing the podcast with.
Yeah, look at that. Wouldn't that be so funny?
The faces behind the voices.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.